Hello and welcome to the Unofficial Controller Podcast, your weekly gaming podcast. Episode 34 million, The Backlog Shame. With me, George, and as always joined by Tom, the man who starts all the games, to the man who finishes games.
Oh,
how's it going?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the roles have been reversed as of late.
Slam down, flip it and reverse it.
Yeah.
And make it worth it. I probably don't want to finish that lyric to you.
No, you've lost me. I should probably know what that's from. But
Question, listen, they've all come to find out what's in your backlog of shame. But before we get to that, Jeremy Kyle's style view of your gaming history, they want to hang around because we've got some Half-Life news.
And some Rockstar news.
Oh, Tom, this is breaking all the rules, isn't it? Rumours and leaks from the man who only 2 weeks ago said no rumours.
No leaks ever.
No leaks.
No leaks ever, but we can do a few rumours.
What if rumours transpire to end up being leaks, which end up being true? What's your view on those rumours?
I will decide.
He makes the rules.
He can break them.
He breaks the rules. Mm-hmm. Like spines lined up for Sensei Reese to karate chop through. That's how you go through rumours, is it?
Absolutely.
Well, once I've heard all that shenanigans, there'll be some... This is the bit where we get involved with the community. Not that we're not always involved with the community, but we find out what they've picked up this week. Over 1,300 posts with the hashtag Stingrays boot. How does that make you feel?
Impressive. That's very good, isn't it?
Most impressive. After that, we're going to wheel up the big man. This week it's Backlog, so I don't know what you're going to have to... You know that whole Netflix thing? Legal got involved. They ever mentioned that again? And that character, I had to hire a hitman in between episodes, and I had to verbally kill him off.
Okay.
What was his name? Nick McWhirter. The guy with the Netflix squirter. What's going on with him? Who is this guy? What was his name?
I don't know. Which one do you mean?
Last week it was all at the beginning of the show, or we got news, or we got... There's a little bit of history about Stingray.
Yeah.
Oh, Clifford Tomlinson, or whatever you called him.
Yeah.
Such a memorable character. His own auteur has forgotten his name. Well, it's a good job Legal got me on the phone to bump him off, isn't it?
He's gone,
Oh, yeah, he's long gone. Stingray paid
Henry Warrington Smythe. Boom. He's back. The hitman didn't do the job properly.
I love the way that your Tourette's manages to name all the people on the show. It's middle conversation. Nick Worthington Smythe. Like, you all right? Yeah, I'm fine.
Henry Warrington Smythe.
Well, don't mention his name again.
Is he gone?
Every time you mention his name, we owe the creators of Lair and Netflix $1 million.
Okay. He's gone.
No one's gone. It's gone. Throat chop. Anyway, we've meandered. We've been very self-indulgent. Because after all that and Stingray and all those people who aren't used to the show, we do the new releases, we've got some news, we've got all that other good stuff. At the end of the show, I ask you what you're hoping to play. And right at the beginning, almost the doorstep to the whole show as a go. Tom. What you been playing?
Long pause there. I thought you'd fallen asleep.
No, Nick McClum, he's driving down the road. Chris McClum called him Nick McClum. Look, get in touch, remind me of your name. I don't care. Odders, he's driving down the road in his Fiesta. It's a 1.3. He's doing all right for himself. He's a couple of years old. He thinks, what's going on? What's going on? And then he turns it up, and
he gets a sound blast.
What you been playing?
Oh, that's how you've been working that, is it?
That's how we do it.
Very clever.
Interactive.
This week I've been playing...
Hang on. If you're listening to us in your car right now, listen. I know there's rules. Who cares? Bib the horn. Beep, beep. You did it quietly. Get brave. Beep, beep. That's how we do things, Tom, here on the show.
Is this going to result in like a hate campaign against our podcast for annoying motorists?
Any campaign against the podcast is good in my eyes.
Good publicity.
It is. Anything will do. Yeah.
We'll take anything.
Look at it this way. Before I ask you what you've been playing, I know you're waiting, so it best be good. Every character in the village we've created to this point, because the community has said nothing, they've remained silent. So we've mistook their silence.
They don't care.
We've mistook their silence, or genuinely interpreted their silence, Tom, as the fact they don't give. And excuse me, I'll just check with legal. Isn't that fine? They don't give a rat's ass about Farmerton.
Should we just bomb it?
That's what's happening at Christmas.
There's a bomb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless the community comes forward. Free the Farmerton one. We love Mumsy. Let's see some campaigns for the villages that you love. If we don't see any, trust me, old Pol Pot here, George Pol Pot, he's going to sway through that village like Farmer Giles or some unknown farmer character I have yet to create, swathes corn.
Okay.
What you been playing? Hang on a minute. Odders, just square yourself up on the road. What you been playing? It's like deja vu for Odders. And I just called him Nick McClum. We're not even going to edit it out. Get in touch, Tommy. I got it wrong.
Yeah. This week, I've not had much time. Played a bit of Death Stranding, a few games on Call of Duty. Broke out the Switch to...
I thought you'd say broke out of sweat.
Broke out of sweat. Broke out of sweat on the Switch. Not playing Ring Fit Adventure. I haven't got that.
That's your Christmas.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's Secret Santa, is it?
That's what I've stitched you up with, yeah.
Thanks. Thank you.
Need a complete review of that by Boxing Day?
Live Boxing Day Christmas Fallout special.
You in some spandex with a sweatband on, giving
Down
it...
game. I want to return this.
You're not returning it. If you need to return it, you have to return it in your Ring Fit clothing.
Okay, is that a deal? Go for it. So yeah, I've also revisited the Switch and played Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is to unlock a...
It's probably not aged well.
No, I will put this to you. Name 2 better games to come out in the same year. Those 2 stand as like the pillars each side of the Switch.
Good job managed to
There's
get
nothing else ever, to me, that's come out in year 1 of a console that have give it the 1-2 combo those 2 did. I played both and enjoyed them just massively. And I still...
Halo 1, Project Gotham Racing.
No, not even close.
Call of Duty 2, PGR 3.
Racer and a shooter. Don't really compete, do they?
Oh, I wish I had the time machine. Bring you through with your short pants on, giving it the cameo. You absolute scoundrel. So now, basically...
Yeah, but I remember after that 360 launch, it was pretty dire for nearly a year before we got any.
And what happened with the Switch?
It's not probably had a better year than that first one.
No, it hasn't. Everything
that is, we have discussed this before, of bringing those 2 big tentpole titles out in the first year. It's like, oh, okay. And Metroid's obviously got cancelled and then it's being redone from scratch.
That's going to end up being terrible.
Oh no, Retro Studio is pretty good. They don't really make bad games.
What's one of Retro Studios' other titles?
Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze.
That's not very good.
Metroid Prime.
That's all right.
It's all right.
You wouldn't play it today.
I wouldn't play it today, no, because I'd rather play what they're making now.
They've not made anything for a long time.
So yeah, we'll go back to modern games. Death Stranding still impressing me. Got to a very cool bit, which I messaged you about, which was kind of a bit of a twist on the gameplay loop that had started.
As good as it was, we mentioned off air to each other. It was a bit like
that's been put in for.
This felt so un-video gamey, and then I've just done a bit. As good as it felt very video gamey.
Yeah.
To me, that was like very Fisher Price, my first game.
Fisher Price is my 3rd-person shooter.
You give away a little bit too much there, I think. Oh.
Most listeners are probably further ahead than me on it, so
they've probably finished it.
Yeah,
Finster Gamer said he finished it on Xbox
We have to
One.
spend time writing all this, don't we? So
No, James writes this. We just turn up like two Hollywood kippers and read it out.
Yeah.
If we cut through all of the
Farmington,
villages,
James goes, so there's no script, no show. And the end of the world follows from that.
this is like a bizarre sort of catch-22 dream scenario for the listeners. Not as in a dream, as in, I can't wait to shut the Unofficial Controller podcast down. We hope. But it's more of a strange, twisted reality dream. It's a bit Malkovich at that point.
Yes.
Life influence and art influence in life.
I suppose.
Do I say that every episode?
No.
That's got to be in the Unofficial Controller drinking game.
Yeah. Mine would be and gameplay loop. You know when people watch comment on the Joe Rogan podcast and they're like, they put Joe, insert word he says a lot, Rogan. I really feel happy if people start doing that for us.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
It's coming. 10 or 20 years from now, when someone catches on to this as like a, did you ever listen to that show? And everyone's listening to it, you know.
What, when we finally go viral? Our children,
when we can't
reap all the benefits.
Yes. No, they don't even get, because it's somehow because we're dead or whatever, the account ownership has defaulted to the original sort of IP holder, so we get nothing.
Yeah.
The
Makes the owners of Spotify or something.
6 billion.
6 billion.
One afternoon. Yeah, for Dead Show.
What have you been playing then?
Well, always at the white hot edge of gaming, Tom. I'm a little bit further ahead on Death Stranding than you, seeing as I now have to wear a T-shirt that says the man who finishes games.
You do?
Not as much as I'd like on that, I'll be honest. And then the only other game I've been playing, tell a lie, I've partaken a little bit in some Yakuza Kiwami. I've assisted someone with the playthrough on there. They're better than me on it, so I don't know why they needed my help. And I've also been playing on the latest handheld going, the PSP, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Got the name wrong last time. I said it was Portable Ops. It's not that. I corrected myself before the end, but let me be clear. Everything about Peace Walker, from the moment you turn it on, it's a quality product. And I've had some real fun in that. The way the missions are broken down into 10-minute, 15-minute excerpts, it's still very Metal Gear. It's still the CQC, still the tranquilizer gun. But you've got, as I mentioned last time, you've got the balloon recovery in this one. And you've got the big shell management as well. I got a canteen the other day, so there were certain people that I had in my list of people I'd recruited that weren't very good at fighting and weren't very good at R&D, but bizarrely they had a really high rating on knife and fork, so I slapped them in the kitchen and got them pressed too. Very cool. Is that in 5, that big shell management to that level, where you got to pick people for the kitchen and pick people for your team and pick people for your R&D?
Pretty much.
That's pretty cool.
It sounds like a smaller version and the early ideas of what goes on to become Metal Gear 5.
I think
so. Was it made after 4?
I think Portable Ops was made around the same time as 4, and I think Peace Walker was made before 5.
Okay.
But it leads into 5.
I really wish I'd have played 4 because it looks really good.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the actual timeline of events would be, if you were playing it from their point of view, it would be
5 is before 4.
3 Portable Ops, 3 Peace Walker, 5. That's actually the real chronological way of going.
Take away the portable ones because I'm not sure about them. I think it's 3.
I'm going down hard. This is a precursor to 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll be 3. 3, 5.
3 Peace Walker, 5.
Yeah. 3 Peace Walker, 5. 1, 2, 4.
That feels right. That sounds right. Mm.
Glad we've clarified that up for Metal Gear fans.
And
correct us if we're wrong.
Well, if we corrected it, if we put the fans right, they're not really fans. Because I think they probably already knew the chronological order of those games.
I'd like to think so.
And we probably made a complete donkey's boo-boo of it.
I think we're right.
What do you want to do? You want to run like a rabid dog through the park into the news, don't you?
We do. Let's get there.
Why don't you read out the catchphrase?
We've scoured the very darkest regions of the internet to bring you the latest stories. First up.
Well, in accordance with tradition, I have to now read the first bit of news. Are you ready for this? You sat down and know this is the one you've been waiting for. VR's a no-go, at least for a bit. It's all good news here, though, Tom. So calm down, PC owners. It's all good. It's been just over a week since Valve announced Half-Life Alyx, its long-awaited flagship VR game. And while there's been some mixed reactions to the Half-Life prequel, it seems the hype is real. So much so that most packages of Index, Valve's high-end VR headset released earlier this year, were sold out, according to a post from Road to VR. The shortage appears to be mainly affecting most packages on the US and Canadian stores, with the UK currently unaffected. Half-Life Alyx will retail at full price, but will be free to owners of the Valve Index VR headset, so it's perhaps not surprising that there's a shortage, especially if those on the VR fence have been pushed by Valve's reveal. Second time we've had Half-Life in the news, Tom, in the same spate of time.
I know.
Are you excited? Have you been off and checked the trailers this yet?
I did after talking about it last week. It did pique my interest. Thank you. Round of applause.
Good effort.
So, how much are they saying? How much is our headset compared to the PSVR?
This would be one of those moments where I'd have to pause the recording so you could research it, then it would re-record, and you would say,
Have you got a rough idea of how much
No
it is?
idea.
Okay.
And I'm willing to go on air and say, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine.
What's the
I
basis of this?
was just curious to see how much it is. And if it's
It's got to be a good couple of £100, hasn't it?
Yeah, if it's sort of competitive with. So if you got a headset like that, obviously the PlayStation's got the Move controllers. I presume you get some sort of hand.
Oh, you do. Yeah.
Preferals.
I think where the controllers are nowadays for everyone other than PlayStation VR is you've got individual finger inputs that you can see on screen as they move.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
You see a lot of those ones where there's a circle that you put your hand through.
Yeah.
And you hold like a PlayStation Move controller for the uninitiated or the Philistines of the VR world out there, like you or I, or me. You need one of those, actually.
I think seeing how imaginative they were with Portal 1 and 2, it'd be really interesting to see what they can do with this Half-Life prequel.
Did you go look out? Now I implore the fans to do this, and it was one of our very listeners, Retro Magnat, that sent me the interview with the Half-Life creators. They sat down with Jeff Keighley, and they talked about all the different ideas that they had in their back catalogue that they could redo as VR. Portal came up,
yeah,
and then they were like, "No, that's too insane," because people would not be able to deal with it.
Yeah, I suppose so.
They said,
trippy.
Bar one room where you portal one wall and portal on the other. That's about as much as people can get their heads around.
Yeah.
So once you start doing it on the roof and doing it on a wall and doing it on another wall, he said in VR that was just nuts.
Yeah.
So they talked about a few different titles that they had or have worked on that were meant to be coming out that they were like, no. And then that every time they kind of developed a new idea, they were like, that doesn't really work, but I like that and that and that in that particular game that we came up with. So then they move it on to a new idea and they bring those ideas forward and then they bring that so far forward and they're like, that's not going to work. And that's how this Half-Life Alyx was created. Like technically it started off as a completely different game.
So a shovel load of old ideas mixed into a bag. What could go wrong? I think they're experienced enough to make that work.
I think that their point was it's a load of new ideas in a bag.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. What's this name? Oh, quote. I love the way Destiny has foreshadowed this. I want to go on there and say, I read a little bit. Some guy on the internet somewhere got really sad that they'd worked really hard on Overwatch.
It wasn't
2.
some guy. It was the people who made the game.
Overwatch 2.
Yeah, who designed the game.
That's not even out, and they've not even put pen to paper to make that game yet.
It's got. There was gameplay of it from BlizzCon.
Bet it looked like one.
I'm not going to try and convince you it's a good game because I banging my head against the brick wall.
I have to say about that, though, you're the only person in the community that's like really hyped and accepting of Overwatch 2. A lot of other fans in the community of Overwatch are kind of like,
guarantee
this
you,
doesn't make any sense.
the year that came out and it won Game of the Year, everyone was like so hyped for it. And as usual, the next new shiny thing comes out. Oh yeah, I'm a big player of this. I'm a big player of that.
Can you just slow down and listen to me?
Yes.
The Overwatch community, in its majority, is confused by the release of Overwatch 2 because they saw Overwatch as an ever-moving feast. It never needed a 2. There's things going in. If you've got apparently, if you've got 1, you can play multiplayer against people with 2.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a nice way of doing the sequel to something like that.
Why didn't they just do Overwatch Season 2?
Because it's on like season.
They needed a big news story to cover off all the other stuff they've got going on.
Who cares about that?
Well, they do.
People get insulted by anything nowadays.
Do you want to strip to the waist and the winner?
I do, mate, because like,
me and you will fight it out, and the winner will then have to say
all these
Overwatch
people
is the best
like
game ever.
tapping away on the keyboard, trying to like argue or stick up for like something that's going on in another country 100 miles away from them. It's just like, what are you actually doing to change that? Putting that little bit of information on the internet saying, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to buy this from Blizzard. Yeah, but you probably will. It's just absolute BS, isn't it?
I think
it's just jumping on the bandwagon of a trend. Oh, it's not. I'm not going to support them because no one else is, and that's the right thing to do.
Just calm down.
It just gets me irate.
Calm down. The Overwatch community is saying they're confused. Not me. I don't care. Look at you. You're ready to fight your own flesh and blood to death over this game that only you and that other weirdo on the internet play. So if I'm talking about the Overwatch community and you're not in it, it's got to be him writing millions of posts all on his own.
Yeah.
They're saying they're confused by Overwatch 2 because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to them. None of them wanted story. They wanted continuation and support of Overwatch 2 with seasons rather than a sequel that makes no sense, is years away from being delivered.
Your information is flawed because they do seasons and we're on season 15 or 16.
Well, they want that to continue. That's what I'm saying.
No, you said they want seasons.
Yeah, they want them.
Seasons.
They want seasons. They don't want Overwatch 2.
Where is this information coming from?
The Overwatch community.
Oh, okay. It's got to be gospel then.
Well, certainly better than you.
I want the story. I see several
I
other
think
people
you might
happy
be the
with
only
the story.
But what's that? What we're gonna do? What we're gonna do?
Mate, you've never played the game.
Wake
How
up
can
one
you comment
morning
on it?
as Baptiste
Oh my God.
and decide what you're gonna do. Well, I'm gonna go down the barber, pick a new haircut and tash. What else is there to do in a story of that game?
Let's move on. Read out the next one because I can't be asked.
No, this is your news. This is your news.
Rise to Rockstar. If rumours are to be believed, Rockstar job postings have them looking for an artist with expertise in medieval structures. This adds credence to the rumour mill that before moving to Red Dead, the teams were busy building a world for a medieval-based game. Now with Red Dead shipped to PC, the rumours continue to gain traction. Next up, care package incoming.
Wait. What do you think about the
I don't care about it. Let's rattle through this. Care package incoming. Call of Duty Modern Warfare announces its biggest free content drop in the franchise's history. First details on the Season 1 content include a new ground war map, 6 new multiplayer maps, new Spec Op and multiplayer modes, and 2 new weapons that will be available on all platforms December 3rd.
What do you think about the COD news?
Don't care.
Okay.
It's only a remaster, isn't it?
No, that's that is no.
Is it really?
That's a reimagining, that one.
Is it?
Yes.
Great.
Do we need to strip to the waist now?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I'm getting a bit mardy.
What about?
Let's move on.
Overwatch.
Yeah.
Well, before we move on,
when you've played the game, you can comment on the game.
Okay, I'll download it this weekend.
Of course you will.
I will. You got my word on that. And I'll play it.
Okay.
And then I'll come back next week with a love, leave or lair for Overwatch.
Can't wait for that.
Can you say fairer than that?
I'll believe it when I see it. Let's get on with the feature.
Well, before we move
we
into
doing
the
a bag?
feature, no, we're not doing the bag yet. Did we miss anything? Tom, how do the fans interact with us if we didn't get the news right?
Don't know. Questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com or direct messages on Instagram or Twitter.
Do you know the best bit about all of this? It's going to live in infamy for decades for you to come back to. And I give you my word.
Is this the one where we're going to make...
I will download Overwatch. And I will play it.
I do not believe
if that gives me the ability to have an opinion on the game, I will play that piece of nonsense. I will put shill money in China's pocket. That's what I'll do. You're not even happy with that. What more can I say? I have to go in a fire team with you now. Who do I have to be?
That's what it's resorted to.
Who do I have to be?
This is what I've resorted to get you to play Overwatch.
Who? Let's be fair. We've had a 25-minute full strop about Overwatch. Now I'm playing it. Who the hell character do I need to be and what role do I need to play in your clicky little fire team?
I haven't got a team.
And now I wish I could have recorded
I'm still trying to recruit another one member.
Dream I had my camera and I could have took a picture of you pre me saying I'll download it and now. Because, it was comedy gold.
Why?
Because it was just so funny. You were angry.
I'm very angry. I'm a very angry person.
I was articulating to you the thoughts I'd picked up on a few podcasts I'd listened to, and then a few different comments.
There are no
pages.
other podcasts other than us.
Unfortunately,
there are.
There's a few thousand.
Damn, that's where all the listeners go.
But we don't do bad. Oh my goodness! The pram's over. The toys are everywhere. It was a big celebratory show for us, and it's gone full diva. 27 minutes in. No, I'm not reading that. Read out that next news. I'm not bothered. The best bit is that tantrum will live forever. Ever. 3 generations from now, your great... Can we please? What episode was it? Can we please listen to episode 34? Can we go to the news, please? Can we? Oh, go on then, boy. I'm not having it. That'll be one you'll be listening back to. So, who do I need to play as in your fire team that's been missing a member for like decades?
Missing 5 members of a 6-man team.
Oh, wow.
I have no team. I just have to play with randoms.
So, who do you play as?
Tank.
Baptiste?
No. Sometimes.
They're the mechs where you can get in and out.
No. That's... No one cares anyway about Overwatch. It is old news. Like this is. Can
we just have a moment?
If we did an Overwatch retrospective,
can we have a moment of introspection here, where you probably should have had a Snickers?
Yes.
I'm glad I can talk you down. From the
edge.
From the very edge. I'm a bit annoyed that my weekend of looking forward, having been away all week, I've really wanted to play Death Stranding, but I'm going to have to download, play, and review.
Mate, you, there's no point.
I give you my word as a man. Have I ever let you down?
It's too expensive.
How much is it?
I don't know. It's probably in the Black Friday sales, isn't it?
James. Here, I know you're his property, but listen, get me a code for that. Yeah. Speak to what's his face. In PR.
But you know what I'm saying about the politics thing with the Overwatch?
I didn't even care about that.
Exactly. That's my whole point I'm trying to make. I don't know. I just don't like the way I don't like the way things are spun to manipulate people in a direction that really is not even affecting them.
I'm not. To me, as an outsider, they felt the need that they needed to distract noise because their parent company, that's Chinese, is not keen on the flack it's getting from other countries about what's going on in Hong Kong. So they felt the need, in an Elder Scrolls style, to announce games that they had no idea that they were building, that they had no idea of a plot for, they had no idea of an idea for. They were forced to put some CGI on a screen because Overwatch 2 is better than Blizzard Hong Kong nonsense. Okay? That's the only reason Overwatch existed, because the fans were quite happy with the seasons. They want seasons. That's what I said. If you misheard that, I apologise.
That's every single fan.
That's the majority seem to like the way it is. They don't see the need to go to a second game, and they don't certainly see the need to go to a second game when you can play everything in the first game.
You can't.
What?
You can't play the story.
They're not really that bothered about that.
And I don't believe you can use like the upgraded like characters or the character models. I think it's probably going to be on next gen because it's not going to be out till next year.
That buys them some time.
Yeah, let's move on. Anyway.
Where are we?
I don't know. What are we
Let
doing
me give you
next?
the signposts. When we come out the news,
Yeah.
we have a little bit of chat about what the news means to us. In fact,
We're not doing a beg before the feature.
well, maybe after this.
After the feature.
No, maybe after everything that's gone on, they might think it would be a good thing to get the show's details so they can support it. Because after everything that's gone on in the last 30 minutes, they might be thinking, do these two even like each other? Should we do a beg? Where are we going to send them? Where do you want them to go, Sir Tom? First of all, what do you think about the Rockstar Medieval game news?
Don't care. It's just a rumour, isn't it?
You will when blooming Knight of the Realm. you know when the trailer comes out and that woman voiceover was like, we've created the most realistic medieval setting. People have
Don't
day-night cycle.
build the hopes up.
If it was even 70% likely to be happening, would you welcome
Boom.
Rockstar's
Right, here
take?
we go. Here's a question for you. Medieval open world games akin to Red Dead,
Right.
GTA 6 or Bully 2, which one is you can
The
only
new
take
IP.
one off
I want the new IP.
the new IP. So
You know the answer from me. I want the new IP.
I thought you might have gone with GTA 6, but
What possibly could they do with that franchise at the moment?
bigger, probably states.
The world's too serious for them to be able to get away with doing a GTA at the moment.
Maybe that's when we need it.
I think that's why we haven't really had anything, because I don't think they can.
Well, you think people will be offended too
I think
easily?
there's a very large set of people now that get offended by anything, and I think that a new GTA would be. Although all this stuff exists in previous GTAs, every time a GTA comes out, it's like controversial. It's like it's never been out before. All this stuff that you can do, I never knew. That's disgusting. It's been in since 3. No one cares.
Yeah.
I just think that now it wouldn't be a good time for them to be able to bring that game out. Red Dead was absolutely safe because there's no political commentary on it in Red Dead, really. It's hidden. Whereas in a GTA, it's very obvious, isn't it? It's there.
Yeah.
There's no hiding behind some of the jokes in GTA or on the radio or some of the adverts. They don't even muck about. They're very right on there. I just don't know I'm just not sure if they could get away with it right now. Like Gervais's stand-up routine in 4 is... It's not that funny, but
I forgot he's in there.
It's pretty gross. So, just chucking it out there. So you kind of don't care one way or the other about the rumour. You're a little bit emotional about the biggest ever care package in Call of Duty.
Yes, just in awe of that.
In awe. Okay.
It's good that they're providing that much free content, but it feels a bit like a trap. It stinks of a trap.
I couldn't decide whether it was them trying to monetize a game. Bear with me, all right? Calm down, okay? We're not going to tread on
I'm done defending things. I'll just agree with you on everything.
I don't want you to do that. Bear with me here. Care package incoming. Does it feel a little bit like they've got you to buy the game? That was £40.
Yeah.
Fortnite's free. Apex Legends is free. Now it feels like they're going to start cranking out the seasons, and you're going to be able to start buying lots of microtransactions and things. That, to me, that's how that feels. I know that they're giving us loads of free content.
Well, that the first season, as they're calling it, is free.
Exactly. I know certain dodgy Tony down the village gives you some that's free the first time.
Yeah, an STI.
No, Tony with a Y, not Tony with an I. Not that Tony.
Okay.
Other Tony. Shady man Tony. Not Tony with an I, not her.
Tony Maloney.
Tony Maloney. Yeah.
Stole a pony.
Tony Maloney with a big
Big conies.
big bag of macaroni. That's what he does. Yeah. He imports pasta.
Is this the most ridiculous show we've ever done?
I think so, yeah. Bimbling in, not sure where the show was going to go. 35 minutes in, it nearly ended on air live. We talked each other down now. I've had counselling.
Let's go.
I've had to bring out the fabled olive branch of peace. Do you want to do a beg? Now the fans can hear everything happen on air. Now they're happy the show's going to continue. Where,
Maybe.
Where do we want them to go this one last time?
Running out of options, aren't we?
Well, we've only really got 3 places. So we can either send them to write a
YouTube
review.
No. Don't go
YouTube at the moment's on ice.
Yeah.
For us, that's on ice.
Yeah.
We're not a visual show.
No, so there is no, I wouldn't say there's no point because there are a few people
And whoever it is who uses YouTube in the car to listen to audio podcasts, honestly, sir, there are so many better ways. Tom, what platforms are we on? I'll answer that question. TuneIn, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, everywhere.
Spotify.
Castbox, all the places people go for their shows. Mm-hmm. I even saw someone listen to us on a Windows Media Player. Is that even a thing?
I didn't know that was still a thing.
We got listened to on it last week.
Maybe he's a massive retro fan. He chooses to.
It's probably Lord
consume
Ponsonbury. He's probably got his Windows 3 out. Oh, what's this malarkey?
Right. Yeah, I think just please like and review. Tell everyone about us.
Just tell everyone about us.
Yeah.
That Jeff Keighley thing didn't work out for us. He got a couple of texts. He probably gets more than that about pizza.
I heard Finster Gamer was like threatened by his legal team.
Oh, welcome to the party, Finster.
Yeah.
If you're not getting threatened by someone's legal team, you're not doing your show properly. And I thought our transgressions were quite light, but seemingly you can't get away with anything. Who on earth is listening to this and going, I'm telling Xbox Legal about that? Like, why?
Please do. Please do, because it will attract attention.
I can't afford any more of these legal challenges.
We win them all the time, so it don't matter.
I'm the real Ponsonbury behind the scenes. And this Excel spreadsheet you brought me for Christmas, that means kids aren't going to get what they need.
Damn.
So, the chains of Ghost Christmas past, I was going to rattle a tin of paper clips near the mic.
We couldn't even get a bell this week.
We don't need one.
Okay, we're going to do different bell noises. You know what we should have got? We should have got a couple of them bell ringers on. You know, the ones who have them all lined up on the table and they make music.
You know we're still recorded, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's me second podcast to do.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's the scientific name for a bell ringer?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's got something funny in it. No, genuinely. Let's... Come on, the fans are in for a car crash already, so they might as well sit while I Google this. What am I Googling here? Bell ringer.
This is no longer a car crash. The car is in flames or upside down in a river.
A campanologist.
Campanologist.
Told you.
Okay.
It's the misused. The term. Listen in. You got every day's a school day, Tom. The term campanologist is popularly misused to refer to a bell ringer, but this is actually refers to someone who studies bells, which is known as campanology.
I'm glad I tuned in.
You didn't know what Rockstar are up to. You had no idea what Half-Life Alyx is doing, and you certainly don't know anything about Call of Duty's mega package drop. But one thing you do know is a bell ring ain't a campanologist. That's someone who studies bells.
It is. Right, forget the news
Right.
and campanology.
No, that's a fact. That's a good fact.
Is it?
Yes.
Right.
What's up?
Are you actually going to download Overwatch or what?
I feel now that you've stepped back from... Don't get upset
Where
with
is
me.
this going?
Oh.
It better not be where I think it's going.
I was just suggesting that I pretty much had to say anything to get you to calm down. I don't think I'll be downloading Overwatch.
Right, I'm done.
Now it's time for ice cream. Or maybe some nuts. A cool glass of orange. Why not try a hot dog? Or the real thing, a cool, refreshing Coca-Cola. From the sales staff and in the foyer. Now.
Hello and welcome back to the Unofficial Controller podcast. It's with great sadness and regret I have to inform you that the podcast had to be stopped midway through the show. Me and Tom had reached an unresolvable impasse, but speaking through Tom's lawyer and agent and myself with Lord Ponsonbury, we've managed to scrape together probably a little bit of change, some extra monies that Lord Ponsonbury's released for us to be able to welcome back Tom to the show. Slightly higher money. We need to just mention the fact that we're 3 episodes into his rehearsals of Dick Whittington for the Farmerton pantomime, which will be premiering at the Farmerton Village Hall on the 12th of December. Open to all, anyone outside of the village, people from in the, here he is himself. Please sit down, Sir Tom.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the show.
It's all right.
Thank you for joining us. Dick Whittington coming up. You really, I would say, please, sir, deference to you, but learning from Lionel. Not that he's a better actor than you, that he's done many productions, many pantomimes, and he's bringing his subset of skills to Farmerton Village Hall this year. You and him are putting on, from what I can tell, a seasonal tour de force.
It's going to be rip roaring. We've got some great costume work from Wetter Workshop.
Right. Okay.
Got them on board.
Right.
So yeah, be
Okay.
prepared to be dazzled.
Well, they will. So 12th of December, Farmerton Village Hall.
Yeah.
At the local shop and at the Wagon and Horses, you can pre-book tickets.
You can also meet the cast at the Wagon afterwards.
How much is that?
I think we're going to ask for about £25 per head.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
That
something-
includes full meet and greet with autographs.
Do you want to make this the feature, or do you?
I won't be there doing autographs, but the rest of the cast will be.
Will Lionel be there?
Yes.
Okay. I think. Are you happy to go back to video games? Have
Yeah,
we done enough about the
yes,
acting?
Yes.
Okay. This video.
Where-
Oh, sorry.
What's the
Tom.
feature about this week?
I think it's personally. I think James has written a real nice script for you here about people's backlogs.
His wages haven't been increased, have they?
No. Well, not now. We had to come up with that money you requested from somewhere.
Good.
You don't pay James any more out of your money either.
Jolly good. I did have that written up.
The feature. Shame, know your games.
Well, in days gone by, it seemed like we had endless amounts of spare time. coming in from school, college, or a long holiday where we were free to spend hours with our hobby and get lost in some of the greatest games ever made. We often look back with great nostalgia at this period in life. It's one of the many reasons a lot of you like to play retro games. That need to try to recapture for a moment a simpler time. In today's gaming market, though, there is an unbelievable amount of content for us to experience that isn't hard to keep up with for every new release. So funny that as children we have so much time and not a lot of money to buy a new game other than birthdays or Christmas, but adults were the opposite, with the only limit being our wallets.
No limits on your wallet now, Sir Tom.
Definitely not.
But as we all grow older and life simply becomes a busier problem, starts to creep up on us. No, it's not just Tom's Just for Men hair dye, but it can be just as expensive. Is that allowed to stay in there?
I suppose.
It's the backlog. Like us here at Unofficial Controller Bunker, you have acquired an ever-growing backlog, full of great games, but such little time to play them. Come join us in Farmerton Village Market Square. We're back in the village, everybody, in the Market Square. Seasonal lights are up. Ponsonbury turned them on 2 days ago. As you walk down the streets and list your shameful backlog of games and a few of our own. Let's get them walking, Tom. Do you have the bell ready?
I do.
Shame, dong,
Shame.
Before we, Tom, before we list off my misfortune and everyone else's backlog,
Yes.
the loyal listeners, may I inquire in a Parkinson-like style to you, sir, what backlog? I mean, I know you're the man who finishes games legally now. That's been changed. I'm the man who starts games, and since the intermission, you're the man. You're the man who finishes all the games. So you don't have a backlog.
I am indeed. Well, I do have a few on the backlog.
Oh.
A heavy list of Nintendo Switch games, as you know, and list on many occasions, but are no longer allowed to be talked about.
So, Tom,
Yes.
may I interject? May I ask one question?
One, that's your legal limit per episode.
Now. Felt I should have asked more questions at the beginning of the show. But
That's your question.
No, that was a
done.
statement of fact.
Is that a fact?
Yes, I wish I had asked more earlier in the show.
Okay.
That's not a question.
Right.
Here's my question. Thank goodness I studied law. Here's my question. Are you ready? Does it count if you started it but not finished it? Or is it a backlog, a game that you bought with all the best intentions and just left? I know that's probably you only need to answer the question one, which was probably yes.
Yes. It counts. If you've already started it, it still counts as a backlog game.
Oh, you need to have got all the way to the end of the game and finished it in some capacity.
Yeah. I think sometimes we just start one, play some of it, and then it's like, oh, that's out this week, so I'll get that instead. And then it becomes another one added to the backlog.
Wow. Okay, so anything you want to name? Obviously, legally, we don't want to pin any games on you that you haven't finished, but is there anything that you want to own up to? Maybe a game on the Mega Drive or something?
I really should finish Fire Emblem, Astral Chain, Link's Awakening.
Oh, I thought you'd done one of those.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Not here. Not this call sign.
No.
Anything in there? Anything, a game that you think might have been out back in the day that everybody played that's on your backlog that you always said that you'd get round to? A game that was technically...
To actually starting and playing?
Yeah, that you never got to buy the first time round that everyone was hyped about and you just missed that boat.
We talked about it earlier before the...
What was it?
Unpleasantness.
Oh, God.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
Ah.
I wish I'd played that, because I played most of the others in the series, so... Yeah.
Do you think time... having been not kind to 4, do you think that you've missed out now, or do you think that you
I think that ship's sailed, hasn't it?
For you, I think, yeah, it's on a console generation past that you'll play.
Yeah. Don't go back any more than a year.
Always forward, never back.
Always go right.
It's going to end up with you... that explains all the circles on the front drive, does it?
Mm-hmm.
We're back here again. How did that happen? Turn right, mate. I'll sort this out. Right again. Right. A little defrost of the ice.
It was actually a nod to the 2D genre.
Oh, was it?
You always go right, don't you? Never left.
Of course. You see, I'm the man who just starts games. I get these gaming sort of euphemisms get a bit lost on me. I don't think I've ever managed to successfully navigate from left to right on a platform screen without dying.
If you do visit the Farmerton Village Square, where we are now, yeah.
I'm here. What do I need to be
I
aware
mean
of?
the other end.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If we get that far,
Yeah.
you will see, similar to the Socrates statue, of me musing over some philosophical gaming reference.
Okay.
It was commissioned by the sculptor in the village.
I honestly not quite. Who's that? Neil Buchanan, or is that something Rolf did in the 3 seconds he was alive in the village before you killed him off? Who do you think worked on your?
It was a joint effort by both. Neil kind of gets the inspiration from Rolf's drawings.
May
sends
I
him from prison.
Just to keep it safe for you? Maybe Neil worked on everything bar the face, all the private parts.
Yeah, Rolf just did the face.
He just did your face. Yeah.
Excellent.
He made it look like a little Rolf thing that he had back in the day. Do you remember when he draw himself with a kangaroo's body?
It always reminded me of like KFC. I don't know why. It looked like the Colonel.
Have you ever seen him? No, we won't go there.
Okay.
What's in my backlog?
What is in your backlog?
Oh, God, this could get...
Well, no, we discussed this, didn't we?
This could be huge.
We don't want the full shebang, just a few...
Oh, I thought I could come in here, confess all my sins, and walk out the door and feel like a new man today.
That's what we were going for, but I think there's just too much sinning going on.
There's been... Okay, so what's on my current list of shame? I'll tell you one that's on my list of shame, and I'm a bit embarrassed about
Shame.
this. Shame. Judgment. The Yakuza spin-off?
It is now. I've let you get away with that, haven't I? I forgot asking about it. I think Shenmue 3 might go that route as well.
Shenmue 3's getting done.
Yeah, okay. It's only 10 hours long anyway, isn't it?
I don't know. You didn't buy it, and you just skipped straight to the story recap on YouTube, so you finished it.
I have finished that game. That's how I finish games now.
So I'll get them out of the backlog, boy. Look how it's done. Right. A slightly normal service resumes.
Let's wheel out some of these creatures of the night.
Who's making the bell noise? Because not that you're selfish, but some of your well-earned wage has ended up dedicated towards the lack of sound effects. Even Stingrays in question at the moment. So, do you want me to make like a ding-dong bell noise, or what do you want from me here?
I think we need to not worry about it.
Right. Is this your new attitude, or?
I think it can be.
Can it be loose? Can we? Let's say it's performance art.
It can't be too visual though, can it?
It's not going to be. How can the noise of a bell be visual in any way, shape, or form? Oh.
Shame.
That's the smallest bell I've ever seen you wheeled out. Don't ever get that out in the changing rooms. Listen.
It's not the size of the bell.
It's
how much ringing you do.
Well, not a lot of ringing in that. So you better tuck him away. Legally, I'm meant to say that you are sharing the nether regions of a horse, according to a legal script here, and no one dare wee when you're around. Something provided to me by your legal team. Do you want to read out comic pictures before the divorce gets any messier?
So, Comic Pictures got in touch, and as he posted recently, he says, I bought The Witcher 3 Shimon edition.
Is that a thing, or am I hallucinating this far into the show?
Let's say that's a typo. When it was like £10, I never played it. I started recently, liked, and got about 15 hours in, and now I've stopped again. It's good, but it's just not that you have to be Geralt, which just isn't as cool or as immersive as Skyrim, for example. Also put other stuff on hold. Ghost Recon, The Division 2, Gears 5, No Man's Sky, Wolfenstein New Colossus, Hollow Knight, Dead Cells. That's what happens when you play Destiny. A very common thing, I think, sometimes to get wrapped up in an online game that you get playing every night or sort of once or twice a week, and you the other stuff gets kind of put on the back burner.
Is Destiny any good?
I think you'd like it.
Would I?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll download that.
It is good.
Maybe I'll do a Love Leaving Lair on Destiny 2, and then I'll Anyway, Foggy on Toast. Anything to say about there? No Man's Sky, that's not really a game you finish. Gears 5, I thought you'd have got that done sort of weekend. I don't know how big that game is.
Gears 5?
Yeah.
I'm guessing about 15 hours maybe for the campaign. Maybe
Ghost
not
Recon
quite
again, The Division 2, they're all online games, so I don't see any shame there at all. Wolfenstein New Colossus. Again,
Yeah,
I've not played any of
I
those,
started
no.
that on Switch and never finished it.
Hollow Knight, I mean, again, it's Dead Cells. Is there any finish in that?
Oh, it's really hard to finish. I've got close, but
Okay, well, next up, Tom, Foggy on Toast. She says, I have Vampire, and we happy few on the shelf as dust collectors. Also pre-ordered Death Stranding, got on release, still hasn't been in the console. Foggy on Toast. Either save that for Christmas or get it in now, because what a game. I reckon you'll enjoy that. Who's next, Tom?
my gaming space. Damn.
Loud bell noise, ding dong, shame,
Shame.
shame,
Shame.
ding dong, loud bell noise.
Damn. Where do I start? PS4, Death Stranding. F1, 2019, Fallout 4, Until Dawn, World War Z, PS2, Final Fantasy X2, Tomb Raider Legend, Lord of the Rings 2 Towers.
How can he look you in the eye?
I know. Calls himself a fan. Devil May Cry, PS1 Tomorrow Never Dies, Theme Hospital finally, on Mega Drive, Jungle Strike. I guess I have a habit of starting games and not finishing them.
I tell you what, good thing to know about this, he's played every game on PS1 apart from Tomorrow Never Dies Theme Hospital. And he's played every game on PS2 bar Final Fantasy X2, Tomb Raider Legend, or Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. Or are we taking it these are the games he started but never finished?
Possibly.
We don't know, do we? Anyway, next up, the twosome, which is CJ Nintendo. What's up, Tom? Your gold-plated script not come through?
Some of it's missing.
Oh. Can
never
I
mind.
offer you mine?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Sorry.
CJ Nintendo, you
Yes.
take him if you want.
Well, it's a pair. It's a couple.
Oh.
Gaming couple from Instagram.
Shame for both.
Double shame, big bell noise. Insert here CGI bell noise. Ding dong.
Bong.
Ding dong. You know,
Bong.
when the show's edited and Ponsonbury's releases the money, everywhere where we hear ding dong now, there will be a very realistic bell noise. If you're not hearing that, listener, you're not listening hard enough, are you?
Or they've got the rough cut of the show.
Or they've got the one that goes free to air and the premium content is walled behind
The paywall.
the paywall. So listen in, fans. If you want to hear realistic sound effects and an even more realistic sound effect for Stingray, get the other side of the paywall, losers. Where did we get to?
CG Nintendo.
Honestly, I think I'm having a weird sort of acid flashback. This whole episode's been very bizarre. We've also always had good intentions, but never finished, say, CG Nintendo. We brought God of War recently, but haven't even started it. Mediocre game at best, CG Nintendo. Also in our backlog is Detroit Become Human, Last Guardian, Man of Medan, Life is Strange Before the Storm, Death Stranding. We were playing Yoshi's Crafted World before Pokemon came out, and now everything won't get played until New Year as Pokemon, Tom, is life.
Wise words there from the CJ Nintendo crew. Next up, Bite My Pixel. Shame.
Shame. Insert bell noise.
I've got bloody hundreds of games in my backlog. Not posted any pickups lately, but the collection has grown somewhat. I'm currently on about 1,500-ish games, but still keep buying.
Bite my pixel. That's a lot of games. The thing is, though, there's something about a backlog and there's something about curating a video game collection for future generations.
Yeah.
That's like saying to a historian, have you read every letter? sent back from the front line of the First World War.
That is a great point. I think if you had a massive library of games, let's say someone like Ozcat with his it's probably going to be a full library of Switch games.
I think that's a given.
Yeah. If Ozcat Jr. or whoever one day, even a friend or someone else buys his collection,
yes,
they might be a fan of the RPG genre. They're going to go and look at all the RPGs in that collection. Probably not play anything else, but it's an interesting point. It's like it is a library. You look at what you're interested in.
Are you a reader if you haven't read every book in Waterstones?
Exactly.
Coming up next, big fan of the show, and we're a big fan of his. And if you're ever stuck adrift on YouTube, you're an Xbox gamer, yeah, Comic Pictures 79, Finster Gamer, I'm talking to you, our totem pole Xbox players. If you're not following XBM Network on Instagram and on YouTube and Bobaloba, as we mentioned, if you don't read every book in Waterstones, are you a reader? Are you even an Xbox gamer if you don't know this guy and his XBM website? No, you're not. Bobaloba. Shame. Ding. Insert bell noise here unless you're behind the paywall.
I start every game I buy. Don't always get past the first hour though. Games Pass and Games with Gold titles, however, I've installed so many and not launched them. It's silly. Having free games essentially on demand has taken some of the magic away from picking up a new game. Great point and comment. Completely agree with that. You don't get that rush of going to the shop to buy the physical game and scoring home as fast as possible to play it. You just watch your download begin, get bored and do something else. I think that is probably one of the best, I wouldn't say the best comment I've seen for a long time, but one that
strikes a chord with you.
Yes. Yeah. I think there's something about that going and get the whole experience.
Well, the thing is, there is something about going and getting that whole experience, but he makes a good couple of points as Bobaloba. He talks about almost drowning in games.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. Now, you corrected me on the Games Pass. I thought it was just a receptacle of chelp, but I didn't actually realise it's actually curated. Unlike their marketplace or their normal store or PlayStation store or Nintendo store, they don't feel awfully curated. But this Games Pass, a game can come on, people can enjoy it, it goes off, plenty of warning. The big games that Microsoft makes stay on, but then there's this ever-moving feast. So I quite like the idea of that, because it means that you potentially always kept on your toes a little bit, and it doesn't mean that Games Pass becomes, or whatever Games with Gold becomes, a dumping ground for cooking Mama 5000. You know, and you and I don't want that, do we? We don't want that here. So it's how you get good games on there, I suppose, is my point, and they get the attention. Because Bobaloba's a proper gamer. He started loads of games, got through the first round, sack it off.
Yeah.
Games Pass, give me another one tomorrow.
Yeah. No, I mean, imagine, let's say you got a really nice collection of DVDs and your favourite films. When you see that film on Netflix, you kind of don't feel, I don't know, it just seems different. But that's
better or worse?
That's the digital versus physical argument we've had before.
No, wait. Let's pretend we never did that show and we can do it next week.
Okay.
Get the script out.
Yeah.
De-ice it. Maybe we'll just re-upload the video. I say video. I'm kidding everyone when I say video. Audio clip.
Speaking of Xbox games, though, another strong Xbox fan.
Finster Gamer.
Shane.
Can I take it? Insert bell noise here unless you're behind the pain or what? Well,
Pain all.
Pain
for all.
Pain for all. Well, I have 134 games in my digital library. Look at the games library on Finster Gamer that I haven't even started, and several physical games. The problem is that once you miss a game, the moment has passed, and you'll probably never get a chance to go back there.
Finster Gamer, please tell me what terabyte hard drive you've got to store that many digital games.
He doesn't need to store them.
And on cloud?
He just needs a picture of them, and then he can play them when he wants. That's how it works, Tom. You don't need to physically get all the ones and zeros written down in a notepad and hidden under your bed. It's not how you deal with that. It's not how it works these days. Where did it get to?
Frozen on ice, me.
Last year, I chose Red Dead over Assassin's Creed Odyssey with the intention of getting the latter further down the line. But then another game comes out, so you start playing that, and then another, then another. There will be a new Assassin's Creed game before I ever get round to playing on it. That's a fact. There's a new Assassin's Creed time every time you make a bodily evolution. Have I got round to playing Odyssey, then I might as well play the new one instead. Solid point well made there, Finstergamer. I picked up all the Assassin's Creeds because they were 10p each. And not really feeling the urge to play them. Who's
Definitely.
next? The longest, most loyalist, most servient of all listeners.
Shame, the Barber Who game.
Insert behind paywall bell noise.
Yes, that will do. Oh God, there's too many to count. My RPG collection is probably my most blatant, though. I swear I've probably played about an hour into most of them before switching over to something else and then coming back and starting over. It's a vicious cycle. Basically the story of a gamer.
Life of a gamer. Hate myself. I like myself. I hate myself. Listen, Tom.
Like this episode.
Bite My Pixel might take umbrage to this, but the good-looking one of the Pixel duo, Tinfoil Spider.
Shame.
Not all. Shame. Insert bell noise.
No bell noise. We don't need.
Well, how are we going to know when to put it in with the CGI?
We will know after the word shame comes bell.
Well, you're eating egg while me and James are trying to make sense of these ramblings.
Okay.
Insert bell noise here behind paywall. I've just realised, insert bell now behind paywall. So the free listeners hear all that, but the paywall guys just hear dong. Real good production as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some, not all of Bite My Pixel's games of shame are his, says Tinfoil Spider. Some are mine. I'm thankfully getting back into gaming after a few years on the meds that made me zombie-like. So I'm really enjoying being back at it. But yeah, I got 1 or 2 or 30 to get through, she says. 2 things there, okay? It's almost like you've been paused in time, Tinfoil Spider, and you've woken up and no time has passed for you, but 2 years have passed for everyone else, and you get all those games like brand new. Secondly, glad you're doing well. Glad you're better. No one wants to feel zombie like, Tom, do they? Takes the edge off life, big time.
Do. Yes. Retro Gamer Thomas up next.
Yes.
Shame.
Shame, insert bell noise behind paywall.
I have so many games that I've purchased while saying to myself, I'm going to play that when I get home, and never do. Hence, I've had my cull of games lately just to get rid of.
Is that the
what
litmus
I'm not gonna
test of
play.
a console serial killer? Whether you say I'm going to play that when I get home and never do? Because if that's true, Retro Gamer Thomas, let's share a Mega Drive's controller. Over wine.
Which is a total was around 350 games. Jesus, that sounds terrible now that I've wrote that. I think the problem I have is my main console is my PS4. I have so many games that have so much to do in them. Red Dead 2, FIFA 20, etc. As of the past year, I've quite limited playtime as I work 2 jobs now and tend to turn to those games when I'm free. 350. God, I'm a hoarder.
No, you're just preparing your galley for a rainy day.
He is.
He's stocking his bunker with
He
apocalyptic
is a
nibbles.
prepper, isn't he?
He's a prepper.
The console serial prepper.
Oh, Tom.
The big man's back.
The muscle of the show. A man who's probably had his whole family gathered round the podcast broadcasting device because of what went on earlier on in the show.
We'll just put your mind at rest. Everything is okay.
Now.
Everything is fine.
Now. Yes.
Not earlier, but now.
I feel that you've managed to get a pay rise, get everything you wanted, and once again I've had to sacrifice
And I'm happy.
everything.
And that's all that matters.
Okay, no problems.
Oh my, where to start? Currently games I would like to get back to are Batman Return of the Joker on NES, Ratchet and Clank on the PS4. I want to finish Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, and Shaq Fu on the Switch. As for games I've started, well, I have too many. I have over 2,500 games.
Retro Gamer Thomas, stand down.
Rookie numbers.
Some games.
Got to get them numbers up.
Finster game 134. Mediocre. Who
I
else
probably
said they
need to
had
play
games?
at least
Bite My Pixel.
1,700 of them.
Bite My Pixel claims to have 1,500 games.
But it's all good, and as long as the arthritis doesn't get me, I can finish them by the time I'm 70. Lol. Very
Well,
good.
as long as they don't bring any more games out from now until then, Daddy Zilly, you should be okay.
Closing out, we've got King Lizard.
Well, right now, I'd have to say Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Wolfenstein, The Old Blood, and Wolfenstein 2. Tom, that brings us to the end of the feature. Rather emotional one. Normally we would ask ourselves what we make of all that. As gamers, we seem to have a lot of choice these days.
Allow me to pass you the answer. Take a read of that.
Oh, well, the budget hasn't stretched to a lofty tome, so I'll pretend it is. So I shall open it and flick through to page 10, chapter 34. One would imagine it might be page... Anyway, I'm not here to come down on your holy book, Tom. Let's have a little look. The masses have started to leave the village square that we set the little feature in earlier, and on they've all come to gather round dais. I don't know why I'm the reverend for this one, but I shall read from the holy book. Thou who finishes games is enlightened and will be guided to the glory from the days of old. Okay, that's a verse taken from Gamer Monkey, page 10, chapter 34, Book of Stingray. I have to feel this is... Have I woken up? What's going on? This has got to be the biggest menagerie of a show that we've ever put together. Ever.
It feels like the runtime's been about 5 hours.
Yeah.
For us, I think it has been.
I think it has been all that drama with me, you and... I'm glad that the show's going to continue. We're at least going to get episode 30, whatever it is,
5
out before we do the full. Who's the Yoko of this scenario? Ever since Lady Ponterbury got mentioned, you've gone off the rails. So she's like the Yoko Ono.
Yeah, she has come in.
Listen,
skittled the cart.
Let's face facts, Tom. Most of the people that listen through all of that they've listened to today have arrived here very patiently for what's known in the trade as listener Stingray. When the big man makes a house call, Tom, you'd better be ready.
I thought I'd ban this on my contract.
Unfortunately, due to lack of time to create a gap to fill in the content hole that we would have right now, you agreed in mitigation that you would let this listener Stingray go.
Okay.
These guys got in touch to show us their pickups from Stingray's Boot. You can too. Just hashtag Stingray's Boot on Instagram or Twitter, or email us questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com. Tom, could you lower yourself, or do you want one of your people to come in?
I will, but I'll be doing it in a roasted style.
Oh, wow. The loyal listeners can't wait to get roasted by you for their hardcore listening and dedication.
Retrovision's first up with something that looks like it was built in the 1940s. A Indy 500 terminal with tennis and hockey.
I don't have him at the top. I had Sega Junkie with his N64 collection. Did you see that?
Are you on recent?
I am on most recent to you.
I am.
Next up, I've got mark.garage.gamers. Are you on Stingray Boot or Stingray's Boot?
Stingray's Boot.
Okay. Mark.garage.gamers, the man who predates the internet, but his parents had a vision of the future. I've been a very good boy this year, so Christmas to me, from me. Thought I'd join the Switch Club. He's been out and got a Switch, Tom, complete with 1-2 Switch, the cow udder milking game, and Super Mario Odyssey. Sorry.
It's okay.
2 things.
Mario Odyssey, very good.
Can I just clear up so the fans understand? Going forward, 2 things I'm not allowed an opinion on. The Switch and all of its library.
Yes. And Overwatch.
Don't say that out loud.
1-2 Switch is I own that. Never put it. I did put it in the machine to collect the reward points and never actually turned it on.
Well, seeing as I've still got the money for it. Bing bong, shame, noise behind paywall.
Shame on me. Game Boy Matty up next with possibly the second best wrestling game ever made. Smackdown, Here Comes the Pain.
Oh, I thought you meant on the next slide when he had a copy of Attitude. I'm joking. He's also got God of War, though, 2. Is it God of War 1 or 2? My eyes are getting
I think
old.
1.
Oh, it is 1. He's got Heart of Darkness, though, on the PlayStation 1, which is great. Resident Evil on the Wii and the PS2, but he's got the Steelbook edition on the PS2. And he's also got himself a Saturn 3D pad, Tom.
Very nice.
Check that out.
Harvey Retro Bioshock 2 art book.
Yeah, that's good, doesn't it? There's some random drawings that never made it to the screen, probably because they weren't good enough. I thought you were doing the roast.
Yeah, they look like they were done by a 12-year-old in a colouring book.
Is that the best roast you've got?
I'm not very good at them. I didn't say I was good.
Look out, clear the way. Someone prepare me my roast lines. I deliver them. You write them.
I'm the sort of comedian who has to have lines written for him when he goes on a panel show. Sharaban. Sharaban.
What's he being up to?
He's got ukulele.
Okay.
Sega Junkie's got an
What do we
empty
need to do
display
to
of
get you
Game Boy
through the
games.
balance? Oh, that's good, isn't it? That's quite cool, actually. That's got those springers that push the games to the front. So you could put your collection in there.
What, so it crushes the cartridges?
Well, I think Nintendo would devise a Game Boy dispenser that would not damage the games, personally.
Hopefully so.
Yeah. Well, you're a big fan of theirs, Tom. Did Nintendo make mistakes?
Yes.
Oh,
Boom, roasted.
I'm not allowed
The
to.
Barbaroo Games. He's got some mediocre PlayStation games. The worst Pokemon DS games.
He's got some 3DO games.
He has.
Pode and Patank. He's appealing to you, though, Tom, because he's got Batman Rise of Shinzu.
Very nice. My Gaming Space got himself a Game Boy Advance. Please remove protective film, which is protecting his screen.
Retrovision
That
looks
is
like he's auditioning for War Games.
It looks at ugly colour, that is.
Radbash Gaming,
Where's
the former champion. And he's got a leather...
It's hard for me to roast these because I did see them earlier in the week and they're pretty cool.
It's a Leatherface toy. Is that a Mandalorian toy? No, Jango Fett toy. Michael Myers. I don't know what amiibo
Simon
that is.
Amiibo from Castlevania.
And he's got that awesome looking pink
that is
Sonic
quite a good Sonic
sweatshirt.
t-shirt.
Very cool. Need. Radbash Gaming's
He
got
don't get
another...
a second shout out though. That's
Oh.
his roast.
Road to Thinner Me. He knows his way to get into our hearts and our bedrooms. He's got a copy of PGR 3 for the Xbox 360. Mine and Tom's launch game. I even commented on there, I got this at launch with the 360. So did Tom. Blew our minds. I love the garages. The country house is one of the best. And the first one you get, incredible. You know when we were friends, we used to play 360 together?
Yeah.
I tried not to.
You've messaged him privately to get it. Put that up. Put that retro poster PGR3 up. It'll evoke all these memories.
I begged him to see if I could maybe plug on your heartstrings of, our childhood years to see if you could
I will
find...
end this episode like C-3PO in the new Star Wars trailer. What are you doing? Saying goodbye to my friends. And then I'll just go.
Leaving me with everything
Yeah.
you've created. The village,
Yeah.
Lord Winstlebury, boss of
The
Netflix.
tome of law for the village.
Well, on that note then, Road to Thin and me, who was like begging me what games are going to appeal to Tom. Is it PGRs? Like we can try, but it's probably water off a duck's back. What about Bayonetta on the Wii U, he says. I'm like, again, I don't know. It's like water off a duck's back. Sharaban, is he allowed in again?
No.
Right, okay. Sega Junkie, also
No.
no. Ash's Game Room, got a copy of Rayman on the PlayStation 1 and a copy of the 10th Anniversary Edition on PlayStation 2.
Retro Gamer Thomas got a very measly meal there for him to eat. Some very average
No, but
VR
look,
games.
They're VR games. When he's in the VR, he can only nibble on synthetic goodies.
Oh, really?
This is a way of him preserving his collection.
Good thinking.
Yeah. Always thinking Retro Gamer Thomas. He's a very bright man. Maybe it's all the extra iron he gets in his blood.
Ozcat TV got himself a...
Hang on a minute. Why have you missed out Comic Pictures? There's someone in the boot with a T-shirt on, but it doesn't qualify. It doesn't qualify.
Well,
So
the listeners need to pull the finger out.
the title's still up there. A box of tat worth more than the T-shirt you're buying. That seems like an extraordinarily good deal.
It does.
First person in the boot, wearing some Unofficial Controller podcast merch, gets the chest of justice. You
Is that
call
the
it the
last time?
community chest. I call it the chest of justice.
Okay.
And depending on who it is, it may actually be sculpted around their particular favourite games or console. That's how freaky I'm feeling.
Get it done, listeners.
Well, until you renegotiated your wages, it was a done deal.
Are you
I'll
telling
find
me we're
another avenue.
Okay. We're casting for beggars in Dick Whittington if you're interested. It doesn't pay great, but
I heard it doesn't pay. So it'd be another waste of my time. Or maybe when I'm performing the begging scene and you, Widow Twanky, come by, you might flick me a couple of quid.
if I can chuck mud in the face at the same time, I will pay you out of my own wages for Dick Whittington.
Thank you, Sir Tom. Please throw the mud whenever you feel like it.
In the play, of course.
No, in the play, whenever. Oscat.tv's got Ukulele Impossible and the Impossible Liar, as you would call it, but the rest of us here would call that and the Impossible Lair. Oh, I'm not allowed to mention Lair either.
No.
Lair, Overwatch, and Switch. Comic Pictures 79.
He's been in already.
No, he hasn't.
He's been in with a T-shirt post.
Oh, he's got free stuff to give away.
Don't matter.
Okay.
Harvey Retro.
No, it's not free. It's drastically reduced.
Boba Loba.
Paywall. He's been in, hasn't he?
He's got a retro gaming book.
Okay.
Danny plays.
And look at his dog.
Where's his dog?
Behind, he's looking at the retro gaming book saying, come on then, read it out.
I can't say anything bad about a dog.
I don't want anyone to say anything bad about a dog.
Danny plays.
Oh, Danny Plays, my favourite booter, if I may be so bold. Game Boy Colour, box, mint. How the hell does she do this? She's sleeping with the boss of CEX or Finster Games or something. Everything is mint in box. Give the rest of us, mere mortals, a chance to get some retro games, Danny Plays.
Retro Collector Ray got himself a Superboy S, which looks just hideous.
You say that, but that's a great way of being able to play SNES games on the go. Very cool Retro
with
Collector Ray.
With that tiny screen. That is dreadful. Ash Games Room.
You see that statue that France sent to America? Oh, the Statue of Liberty. It's tiny. You want to stand a bit closer, Tom. It's huge. Don't believe you. What's Ash Games Room got? You've stopped
Brian
me
Lara
for a
Cricket.
readout of Brian Lara Cricket with its original W.H. Smith ticket on.
$14.99.
There's a hallmark of quality if ever I saw one. Oh
That's
my
the turn of the wheel.
No, I'm going to like that because that's our content. That's what we do. That's how we get all the likes. All
Is
of them
it?
are ours. Yeah. Tom, that's all the dips in the boot for our listeners. Don't forget to hashtag Stingrays Boot or email us for your pickups to be read out. There's a man who thought he didn't even exist 2 hours ago, Tom, but thankfully you've allowed just enough budget for Stingray to sneak back in the show.
Okay.
Personally, if you left and Stingray left, I don't think I could do this show on my own. And even the one-man shows have had Stingray here, haven't I? This week was about Backlog, Tom. So what's the backstory for Stingray this week?
He's been backlogged in traffic, so he's late.
Okay, how long are we going to drag this out for? Because we had 3 hours arguing off air.
No, he's here now.
He's here now.
He's been late, though. So he's arrived just at the right time, including the 3 hours sort of...
Mitigation.
Yeah, the meeting.
Well, in that case, Tom, let's not slow him down, because that, to me, sounds like the sound of formulaic pebbles spraying on the back of fake mud flaps. It's time for a peek in what we affectionately call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battlefriend Door this week? No trip, no fall. So these are the new release highlights for the week November 25th to December 1st, 2019. Listeners, these are out digital or physical, or will be by the time this podcast is in your feed. But don't forget, they might be region dependent. Tom, we're going to have some fun in the boot today. What's your mummy? You have to pick
It does
one.
not look a strong.
You have to pick one. No. You have all the glory. You got to take some of the pain, sunshine. That's
I'll go
how
with
it
this
works.
first one. Monster Jam Steel Titans out on the Switch, November 26th.
Nice.
Real trucks, real action. Monster Jam Steel Titans. Deliver the complete Monster Jam experience for everybody to enjoy. Take a drink every time you hear Monster Jam. All the trucks, stunts, stadiums, racing, and massive air in one game. Monster Jam. Playing various games.
You added that in on
including
purpose to get
stadium
Oscat wasted.
and outdoor racing. Monster Jam. Various stunt challenges and destruction modes. Monster Jam.
Oscat's liver just ruptured.
Surely this is going to be your mummy, because you can't have them others.
Unofficial controller podcast drinking game. If the two hosts end up falling out and having a 4-hour off-air communication with each other, down every item of booze in the house.
Mixer.
I think my mummy is going to be the
This
final.
can't be all the new releases. It's quite poor though, isn't it? This week we did have a look.
I'm sorry. These are the new release highlights. I never qualified these are all of them. These are what we call highlights, Tom. And if these are the highlights,
I tried to see the low light.
exactly. Story of Gladiator, PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Hotpoint washing machine, and Blaupunkt stereo cassette player. Story of a Gladiator is an arena beat 'em up where you take the role of a man in search of his destiny. Fight against waves of enemies in an arena to earn coin and fame until you are strong enough to enter the Colosseum and become a champion. You see much of that, Tom? Save
No.
your eyeballs, it's terrible. Up next,
Is it?
it looks a bit
I
broken.
like the sound. The description sounds great.
I did, and I jumped in the Google machine and headed straight to its webpage, didn't I?
And straight back again.
Straight back again. Well,
So
first
this
of all,
next one is just a trilogy. 1, 2, and 3. We're not going to read out all of it. It's Five Nights at Freddy's out on the Switch, and they're all available November 29th.
wow.
And
What
I think that's all
VHS
we
you
should say
picking
about
out?
that. What we're going to go for. I'm feeling dark. Give me Batman Returns.
Okay. Well, in a bid to keep the show on air, Tom, I don't want to press on that open wound, so I'm going to ask you very delicately, Sir Tom, as you now have to be referred to in the show. Sir Tom, what are you hoping to play?
More Death Stranding this week.
Okay.
Some Call of Duty. Hopefully when the free content drop arrives.
Oh, right. You care about that now.
I do, yeah. I do, yeah. I've simmered down.
I've calmed down. My sugars are balanced. I'm
Yeah.
quite interested. Can we redo the news?
No,
We can redo the news if you
we
want.
can't. No.
You don't want to redo the news. We've got script. That's why we've got script.
I would like to start Luigi's Mansion 3, but I think it's going to have to wait till Christmas.
Okay.
And contract legally says I don't have to ask you what you are hoping to play.
No, you
but I
don't.
think I should because you've been a good sport. What
really-
are you hoping to What are you hoping to play?
I must read from the legally prepared statement. Sir Tom, this weekend and week, I'll be making my best efforts to download and review for your personal delectation Overwatch by Blizzard Entertainment.
Excellent.
If you want to fast forward to my opinion on that, I think it's the best team-based shooter that there is.
Correct.
And I would give it 10 out of 10.
Brilliant stuff.
And I'm avidly and eagerly awaiting the release of Overwatch 2. I, for one, am hyped for what the story can bring to the characters that we play as in this online team-based shooter. And
welcome back.
I look forward to becoming the second man in your 6-man fire team, still eagerly looking for another 4 active members. You,
Search ongoing.
Sir Tom, will play any character you choose. And I, Sir Tom,
You will just be a healer.
will play any character you choose.
Sounds perfect.
In between my legally obliged time of Overwatch, I will have a little, if I have any spare time, because I think that's a big game, and if you want a proper review for next week, I'm going to be pushed. But I'll have a little go on Death Stranding, possibly a little bit of Peace Walker, possibly a little bit of Shenmue 3. I've got an itch for something retro. I don't know, I'm going to scratch that this weekend, but we'll see. Is that all? Are you had enough now?
I've had enough now, yes. You need to read the small print as well, because it says about the shows only lasting a max of 1 hour, 15 minutes.
Okay, well, me and James will have to find 15 minutes in the editing suite.
Okay.
By the time we've took out all the bell paywalls, I think we'll be all right. And that's all we have time for this week, listeners. As always, thank you for your time. We look forward to the pleasure of speaking to you again next week. Until then, happy gaming. And remember, there's nothing wrong. Tom, remember this. There's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you, Tom. Sir Tom.
Goodbye.
Sorry, Sir Tom.